Hey. Oh. Yay! Welcome into the Ron Ross Radio Show podcast. So well organized. No, we are. We are actually. We got our stuff together. We know what we're doing. And welcome in. Really appreciate you hanging out with us. And we're just past 5 minutes late, 11 a.m. Eastern. That is 8 a.m. Pacific. I'm Ron. That dude over there is John Yaglinski, who is our executive producer, the vice president. Good Lord, what else?
I don't know what I am.
Coordinator, the social media guru,
right,
and pretty much everything. Oh, and
what you said.
Welcome into the podcast, the live version, video version on X, formerly known as Twitter.
Do we have to say formerly known as?
Huh?
Do we have to still say formerly known as?
I don't know. I've noticed that people just don't even say X anymore. They just say Twitter. I tweeted, because what else do you say? I X'd. And it was X-rated. I don't know.
I posted.
Well, now we're on X. We're on X as well. We're on YouTube. Hi, thanks for hanging out with us on YouTube, and thanks for hanging out with us on Facebook. Yeah. And then you can get the audio portion of this anywhere you get your podcasts. And just search for it, Ron Ross Radio Show Podcast. We are now celebrating 1 year. Came up in my memories.
Did it?
Last week came up on my Facebook memories. So I was very excited that we had 1 year under our belt with the podcast. And gosh, what a great loyal listenership. And we thank you so much for hanging out with us and participating and answering questions and so on. Tell your friends. And if you haven't already, then, hit that subscribe button or like or follow or whatever it is, and then just to hang with it, and you'll be notified whenever we're going live with the podcast, because recently we've been darting around, we've been moving around. We gotta be mobile. Usually it's on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, but you never know, because Mr. Globetrotter here is going to be doing some traveling. We're going to get into that in just a little bit.
Yeah,
but I hope you had a good Memorial Day weekend and you were off yesterday for the federal holiday. And we remembered what the holiday was all about, because I posted about that yesterday on the Facebook page with the because of Memorial Day. And I went off about this a little bit last week too. So
what about it? It's not Veterans Day. It's actually Memorial Day.
It's not Veterans Day. We do thank them for their service, but also they paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Correct.
And I was reading up on the Tomb of the Unknown soldier, and there was a little bit of trivia about it. Actually, through DNA testing, they found out who one of the soldiers was from the Vietnam War. So they reinterred him in it as his own plot, because they found out who he was from DNA testing. That was, in the 90s, I don't know, but anyway, but still, I was reading about it's 21 steps for the and it's on the guard it's a half hour on. They're only on for a half hour, but it's 21 steps. Then they wait 21 seconds before they do an about face, and they the gun is right shoulder arms or left shoulder arms, depending on, it's away from the tomb. And there are so many rigorous things that a soldier has to go through in order to be a guard, and no drinking alcohol. I mean, it's a huge. They have to memorize where people are in the Arlington National Cemetery, where it's pretty amazing. The stuff that for the Tomb of the Unknowns, and it's 24/7, 365. Doesn't matter the weather. Everything is, there's somebody out there marching the entire time, standing guard at the Tomb of the Unknowns. All right, but enough of that. So it's also unofficially the start of the summer weekend. We went camping, as we traditionally do. Greatest Wife Ever and I, we would go camping with our family, but recently we've had a bunch of friends that we go camping with, and we go to the state park. We like the Maryland state parks, and Maryland has been known as Little America, because you've got everything from we're in the Piedmont region, but you've got mountains and snow and ski resorts and so on, way out in Western Maryland, out in Garrett County and Allegheny County, and then which is like right next to Ohio, but mountains out there. And then you travel all the way to the east and go all the way down to the shore to Ocean City, dear hon. And you've got
Downy Shore.
all kinds of stuff in between with dairy farms, and it's just the little America.
Yep.
So we headed out west and we went to up into the mountains into Rocky Gap State Park, the Maryland State Park. By the way, it's got a Lake Habib, and there are no naturally occurring lakes in the state of Maryland. There's another little trivia question. So every lake in Maryland is man-made.
Really?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Did not know that. And it's a little bit of Maryland trivia. So we were camping. We like to tent camp in the Maryland State Park, and usually, interestingly enough, where we were, they have in the Maryland State Parks, they put out a nice level-ish pad for you. They put what's called pea gravel. It's a little tiny gray gravel, right?
Right.
And it's easy to stake in, and doesn't put jagged stones or whatever under and into the bottom of your tent. And then you have what's called railroad ties. The railroad ties that give you the board around, and they give you a fire ring and a grill, so you can have campfires and all that stuff. Well, the price of firewood went up $1. It was $5 many years ago.
Yeah,
you could give them $10 and you get 2 bundles of wood,
right?
Kind of green. And then it went up to $6. So then it's like, $10 wouldn't take care of it. So now and now it's $7. Everything's
like
going
everything,
up.
dude.
Everything's going up. It's crazy.
It's just everything.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not super happy about that, but what are you going to do? And so we set up our tent.
Your own trees, I guess.
I guess, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
I don't know how to answer
that. Well, no, you do forage when you're there. You can forage, and you can anything that's dropped, you are free to burn.
You bring like a axe and stuff, or
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Chopping wood.
Usually I go out just for kindling, and I buy the firewood, but you go out for kindling and the little twigs and so on. And one of our friends who's no longer with us, God bless him, Doug, when he went camping with us, he would go and get, Doug.
I do know Doug.
He would go foraging, and he would pull up this 8-10-foot log. And he would just put it. You're not supposed to do this, by the way. And we don't do this, by the way. Maryland State Department of Natural Resources. Just FYI, Rangers. But he would put the log. He would just put the end of it over the fire ring. And then, so as that burned, he would just move it across. Right, exactly. So we had since then, we've had the Doug Horse Memorial Log. And either it's you can have the all-nighter, or sometimes he would go and get the weekender, which was that thing was lasted.
Jeez,
all weekend.
That's funny.
God bless Doug.
Doug was a character.
Yeah, he's still with us.
Yeah.
And we didn't bring the what is it? They used to not Goldschlager. What's the other stuff? The stuff that tastes like black licorice. Oh,
Jaeger.
Oh God.
Jagermeister.
Jagermeister. We did that for a while. We would do the Jaeger shot just to toast, but after a while, it's like, dude, you got to understand. I can't. I'm just gonna. How about if I have some black licorice in your honor?
It's great in your.
Good man. Love Doug. So anyway, so we're camping, and a bunch of families, and the greatest wife ever's got a camp kitchen set up, and then our friend Jason, Jason from the band Crash the Limo, he's called in before. He has a Blackstone grill.
Oh, right.
Okay, so it's got
the grill.
Yes, right. So you could put a grill top on it, and it's got the cast iron grate,
right?
For the great grill marks, or you can put the flat top. So everything was on the flat top, which is very much like a Japanese teppanyaki. You just want to. All I want to do is make fried rice on that day. I love that thing, but made breakfast, and everybody picks a night that they're going to do dinner, and then you pick a morning that you're going to do breakfast, and then lunch we just kind of whatever. And so we Grace wife every night we did breakfast one morning, and it was just typical eggs, and she likes to make and I never had this before when I was a kid. Never had it before when I was a kid, but she has
But
completely converted me to cream chip beef. I love it. Now I know people in the military, it's the S on an S, and S on a shingle. If you hear what I'm
oh,
saying, yeah. And you put it on toast. I mean, it was just easy to make, I guess. But I love it. So she makes that cream chip beef, and then the what else do we have? Sausage and bacon. You gotta have like all kinds of sausage and bacon, and then the was there anything? Oh, we did pancakes. Pancakes on that flat top thing. Oh, it was great. And then we're blueberries. Oh, let's make some blueberry pancakes. So it was wonderful. So, and then I think we did Mexican night one night. We did fajitas, but everything was on the flat top. I just realized that there was another guy, by the way, another guy who was with us, a former radio guy, Ron Kitzmiller, who was with us and camping with us. That was weird because we had two Michelles and two Rons. And but one Michelle has one L in her name, so we just call her 1L. And I don't know if she likes that or not, but that's what we do. That's how we can differentiate between the two. Excuse me. And so so whenever I heard Ron, before I would turn around, I'd make sure who they were talking to.
right.
Honest thing.
Yeah.
But he decided to do chili dogs. And that was the only thing we cooked on a fire like all week, aside from just doing the we did marshmallows and all that stuff. But basically the campfire was just, whatever, campfire. Now, the weather was like, I thought we were just going to get blown out, rained out the entire weekend. We were not.
No?
No. We went Thursday, which was great because we got there before everybody else did. And we were supposed to get rain. We didn't. It kind of skirted around us. Friday, I thought we were going to get rain all day, but that seemed to be the nicest day. Was it Saturday? Saturday, we got a storm that came through. There was one. And of course, I'm just watching my radar. I love that. Just watching it as coming up. And I go by the National Weather Service. I don't know about the other meteorologists. They always come up with these. I just go by National Weather Service and what in NOAA and what they say.
I wonder why. Here's the forecast from the National
Weather Service. It's a radio thing.
Yeah.
So and it was a 20% chance or 8, whatever. I'm watching this, but there was one where the storm was coming through, and I'm almost convinced it's because we were on the opposite side of the mountain where from whence the storm was coming. And so it hit the mountain, and I think it kind of bounced over us. I think a little bit. We didn't get as bad winds as I thought we were going. We got the downpour, but we were ready for it. And we had all of these canopies up, and we just, stood inside the canopies or whatever. And it was a deluge. And it was a good 5 to 7 minutes. There was a lot of rain.
It's a great word.
It was coming down.
Deluge.
But really, that was it. That was that was it. And we were ready for it, prepared. And we had built such a huge fire that it didn't really put the whole fire out. And as soon as that was done, we had already covered up the wood, and we put more wood back on there. And then we had more of a fire. So it was a great time camping, and some friends went. It was funny because I never left the campsite. I did you had to go and dump your garbage and all that stuff. And that was down, the dumpsters are down outside the whole thing. But I stayed there the whole time. I didn't go down to the beach. There's a lake. You can go to the beach and go swimming. And you can go fishing and hiking. None of that. I hung out, played a lot of cards, and that was it.
That's good.
I drank some coffee, and then when I had too much, I drank some decaf, and I hydrated a lot and a lot of water. I mean, I was just chilling and having a great time. It was just a lot of great conversation, and that's all I did is just sit on it takes us 2 hours to set up our camp. I know. And it takes us, more than that just to tear it down. We got a lot going on with the campsite. Okay. A lot going on.
Yeah.
And, but still comfortable inside, in the tent, and the temperatures were good. So it was a good trip. So whatever you did for your Memorial Day, weekend. I hope you had a good time. John, you were spending some serious time with your greatest wife ever, and how was the weather? Because I texted you yesterday. There was supposed to be a line of storms that were coming through yesterday. They were in Georgia, but they said Hilton Head is in the target. And I'm like, okay, and I texted you.
Yeah, no,
nothing. Did it break up?
No, as it turns out, sometimes, yeah, it can go north, south. We may just get a little bit of rain. It's a very weird area of the country. It can be raining on one side of the island and not on the other. I mean, and it's not a big island.
If you're new to the podcast, by the way, John lives on Hilton Head Island in South Carolina. So
yeah. And if you're wondering where that is and you're not familiar, it is about 28 miles sort of north of Savannah and about 2.5 hours south of Charleston.
Okay. All right. So you're out in the now. Is the island in the Atlantic Ocean? Is it in a bay? I know nothing about that area.
It's kind of a foot off the mainland. We have a bridge that goes over, and it's a
Now is it like the barrier island, like the Outer Banks? Because the Outer Banks in North Carolina,
right?
Technically, you weren't really supposed to build anything because the storm's moving in, moving out.
Yeah. And is it like the Outer Banks?
Is it like that? The island, does it change shape or anything like that when storms roll through?
Technically, all islands change shape. I mean, if you want to get right down to it, they do. But with our island, they do renourishment, so they keep the shape of the island and things like that. So and it's shaped like a big foot, like an athletic shoe.
I see. Now I gotta look at it. I know.
I'm not even joking
on the island.
Okay. Yeah. It looks like a big Nike sneaker.
Oh, this is a weird thing, and I don't know if you've gotten into it. And I read something about this.
We didn't get the storms. We just didn't get the storms. But go ahead. Yeah,
that's good. Well, I'm going back to the camp.
A little bit of rain. But
okay.
All right.
And because I completely forgot about this.
Yeah.
And I read that it was like, as you get older, and I'm turning 60 this year. As you get older, that you tend to like find joy or excitement or whatever. And other things that, in your 20s, you probably never would have even imagined that you'd be into.
Okay.
We're sitting there at our campsite, and it's just, whatever. And I turned my little speaker on, and we were listening to music or whatever. And, what we listened to we listened to Max Country, which is one of the local stations around here. But I had the app, and I just turned it on, and it's one of our stations in our company. So with Key 103 and Eagle, right? And holy cow, it was a great station. Everybody's singing along. They knew every song.
Really?
I'm like, wow. I'm like, holy moly. And so anyway, we see this bird land on the edge. We didn't have a campfire going on. So it lands on the edge of the fire ring. So it's about 10 feet away from us. And it's just got this fire engine red breast and these jet black wings. And we're like, wow, what is that? And so, the other Ron takes a picture, and we're both looking at it like, oh my God, it's amazing. So he found it later. It was out in the trees, and he found it and took a lot of pictures. And then he downloaded, talking to 1L, the other friend, and she goes, oh, there's this app you can download. So all of a sudden we're now into bird. We're now into bird watching. It was very exciting. I think it's a tanager. Tanager, I think.
Really?
Never he did it. You do an image search. He downloaded the app, and you can also record the song, and it'll identify the bird by the tweets,
by the warble.
Speaking of tweeting,
yeah.
So overnight there was a whippoorwill. There was a whippoorwill, and we read up on it because this whippoorwill was screaming, looking for a mate at 1 a.m.
That's a good time.
It didn't just say, it did it 47 times in a row. I mean, just nonstop. I was like, when did it breathe? It's 1 o'clock in the morning. we're in bed. We're trying to go to sleep. And then
Right.
it would go away. So it was, and I read up on it. So it was going to its territory. It was staking out its territory. So it would be, 40 yards away. You could hear it echoing in the forest. And then it'd be over here. And then it'd be like right next to us, really loud. But it's supposed to be at dusk and right before dawn. But it did say occasionally overnight. I'm like, no, this was like every night overnight. And you really wanted to I wanted to find a mate for this guy like real quick, because he was working hard, trying to find another whippoorwill chick, literally. And
right.
Right. So it was just, but we got into bird watching. It was kind of weird. All right, so John, I noticed something on the Intercot site, because John, if you don't notice him, you're just joining us. So John here has his own Disney parks. He had a website, and then he's developed it into a podcast, and called Intercot.
Yeah, we only do that once a month,
right? So. And the podcast. Yeah. But the website is updated all the time, and they go to various parks. And John's going to hit one of his dream parks a little later on, but we'll talk about that later
this week.
But one of the things that that you posted was the one of the songwriters. If you've seen any Disney movie with any musical number in it, aside from like the Elton John stuff from and Phil Collins stuff from Tarzan and from The Lion King. But any of the classic ones, Mary Poppins, these songs were written by two brothers. And it was Richard and Robert Sherman. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. One of them passed away. Was it Robert?
Yes. Yeah, I think they're both passed away by now.
No, they're both gone now.
Yeah.
So,
but it was Richard who was the one who died. Okay. And he was 95. The other one, I believe, died somewhere in his 80s.
Okay.
But yeah, so Sherman, along with his brother Robert, had earned 2 Oscars and a Grammy for their work on Mary Poppins, which were Best Score and Best Original Song for Chim Cherry. Chim Chim Cherry. Chim 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 Cherry. Chim Chim Cherry.
Lucky can be.
Yeah.
Did they write Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious?
So, yeah, the song Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Yep, they did that. That was a pop hit in 1965. Feed the Birds was one of Walt Disney's personal favorites.
Tuppence a bag.
Tuppence. Yep. They also worked on Jungle Book, and I'm not going to hit them all, but Bedknobs and Broomsticks, Sword in the Stone, The Aristocats.
I had that album,
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang,
which was not a Disney movie.
No, but they worked on that.
They wrote the songs for it. It was very much and Dick Van Dyke was in it. It was very much like I don't want to call it a ripoff. Maybe it was but they were capitalizing on Dick Van Dyke's singing and dancing from Mary Poppins, because then he did the old bamboo,
And Benny Hill was in that movie too.
That's right. He was a toy maker.
Yes, he was excellent. So he and his brother also wrote music for the theme parks, and that includes some you may know if you've been to Disney parks. There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. There's a great big beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of every day from the Carousel of Progress.
Okay.
You may know the tiki 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 room in the tiki 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 room. All the birds sing words and the flowers grew.
No, I don't know that one.
All right, that's it. In the tiki. And then, of course, it's a small world after all.
They wrote that. Yes. They wrote that.
Yep. So, yeah, let's see. Over the course of their career, Richard garnered 9 Academy Award nominations, winning 2 Oscars for his work on Mary Poppins, won 3 Grammys, received 24 gold and platinum albums over the course of his 65-year career. And by the way, his career also ran the gamut from the early days of rock and roll with the song You're 16.
What? I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. So
you come on like a dream, peaches and cream,
mhm.
lips like strawberry wine. You're 16. You're beautiful. I remember that.
Then you're
But I
mine.
remember the Ringo Starr cover
Right.
of that in the
Right.
70s because I don't
Yes.
remember the original one. I don't think I
Yes.
was born
Yes.
yet.
Yes. Jim was saying Small World too. Yes.
Yeah.
It took me a second to get there, Jim. Sorry. Oh, and by the way, Meredith says hello.
Oh, yay. Oh,
Hello.
okay. Well, look,
Yeah, you can
hang on.
plug
That's a
her. Go ahead
sidebar.
and
Sidebar.
give her a plug.
Meredith Marks.
Yeah.
Meredith Marks
Hmm.
just joined us at Key 103
Yeah.
doing middays. So
Yeah.
she just like yesterday was her first day. Came on at she comes on at 11 a.m. She does 11 a.m. to 3 and comes in and goes into my show. But I've known Meredith for 8 billion years. We worked peripherally together. We've never really been on the same radio station, like doing shows. She was doing traffic, and I think was I at Hot 99.5, and then I was over at when I was at Sirius XM, and but anyway, so yeah, Meredith Mark and Meredith, by the way, I'll let you know, was the first one who called me after one of the first colleagues who called me after I got laid off
Hmm.
and last year, and then said, "Hey, let's get together with another guy who's in our business, Jeff Wyatt, and let's see what we can do." Because she had been going into some, she had been laid off, and anyway, so we discussed some personal, some employment. So she tried to get me the hookup, and also you can listen to Meredith not just on Key 103,
Hmm.
but you can listen to her. She has a yacht rock show,
Oh, love
which
it.
is the Yacht Club,
Mm.
and she kills it. And she also
Yeah.
has a podcast where she's backstage and she does all of these interviews and all of that stuff with her podcast. And she's just so I'm really happy, excited. So Meredith is hanging out with us on the podcast, but also Meredith is you can listen to her daily, Monday through Friday, or is it Saturday? No, it's the weekends too. With Meredith Marks doing middays on Frederick's Key 103, the most music while you work, and leading into the Ron Ross ride home. So I'm very excited. So there your little sidebar. Some Meredith.
Wow, you went into radio mode right there. It was
What?
great.
What did I do?
You were
What did I do?
just the smoothness and the
Oh,
tags and the call letters and the join me then. And
didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about that.
yeah, one radio guy to another.
That's
Just
so funny.
listening.
You should say that. I
No,
wasn't
I
it's not
just
even
totally
registered.
noticed it. You just like switched it on. It was like click. Okay, here we go.
You know, I
Into
realized
promo mode.
just exactly
Right.
as my wife said that I
Amazing.
narrate everything, and I realized that I do that now.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize why I do it is because of the radio thing, because I'm constantly talking about everything that's going on. So even when I'm like done here,
Yeah.
I'll say out loud, close that window. All right, let's sign out of that. And you know,
Napua caught it.
what promo mode? Here's
You
the
went into
radio
promo mode.
part?
Yeah,
Well,
exactly. That's fantastic.
yeah, you know, it is.
It's just a part of you now.
It is. It is,
really
and
is.
it's in pretty much everything that I do. So what are you
Right.
gonna do?
I do it too. I get
Do
you.
you?
I get you.
I
Yeah,
know,
I mean,
because you know,
sometimes.
John, how long has it been since you've been on the air regularly? Because if you don't know this, by the way, John
Gosh.
is an old radio friend of mine from
Right.
the 90s.
Yeah.
So over 30 years.
Worked at Magic and Z together.
Yes. So John and I, that's how we know each other, is through radio. But John was a DJ
Right.
for many years, and he had a side DJ business where he would do weddings and so on. Pure.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad not to be doing that anymore.
What?
Oh, that was awful.
Dude, I got more nervous as
that was the problem.
a wedding DJ
Yeah.
than I did being on the air ever.
Honestly, it was the potential to ruin somebody's special day. And
Thank you.
I just at some point I needed to get out of doing
You
that.
get exactly what I'm saying. Yes,
Yeah.
it was all on your shoulders, man. You had to make sure
Mm.
that the bride, and I didn't care about anybody else in the room.
Yeah.
The bride had to be happy, period. Groom, okay, come along for the ride.
Right.
But I'm all about the happy wife, happy life. That bride had to be happy, and just the pressure. Well, what do you want to hear? Oh, I don't care. Are you sure? Because how about if you jot down some songs you'd want me to play, or why don't you put down some songs that you don't want to hear? that I avoid at all costs because somebody's going to request it and you're going to hear it and it's going to ruin your
Right.
reception.
Yeah, you don't
Tell me
want to
what
hear
you
that
don't
one.
want to hear.
That is
When they
funny.
come up and they want to hear, Scorpions or Metallica, I can sit there and go, you know what? The bride said no. So,
Yeah.
no, I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to do that for you.
So to answer the question, I think the last time that I was in radio was right when that's nice. I keep hearing myself in the background, by the way. My answering machine's going off. So you talk.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. I'm just going to pot down here for a second.
Okay.
Done? No, it's done. Okay, it stopped.
Okay, it's fine.
Anyway, I swear.
Pot
Take
down, by the way,
phone
that's a
off the
radio
hook.
term. Pot down is a radio term.
I know.
It's a
Sorry.
radio thing.
Yeah.
Pot down. A potentiometer is a little fader, slide fader. So he's turning it down. Pot up, pot down.
27 years in my current job here.
Okay. All right.
Is my daytime job.
Yeah.
Which means I was still doing weekend stuff for you specifically, really, at Z in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
When I started this job. So I would say it's probably been about 25 years, but I've done a podcast for the last 15.
Right.
So it's like it never left me.
Right. Yeah, but it's John. His name is John Taylor on the. It was a Taylor Made Tuesday. Taylor Made. Yeah.
And today it's John Tokyo.
It's John Tokyo Yaglinsky. We're gonna get in that in just a minute. But I did since we were talking about Richard Sherman. Was it Richard Sherman? Yeah. Who passed. I got to do when I was still at Sirius XM, and Jim was the program director of the Disney Music Channel. So all Disney hits, whatever.
Radio Disney.
Everything from Snow White all the way up through anything that was on the Disney Channel recently. And so I was asked to, and Jordan, or Daughter the Elder, and I were asked to go and and play our favorites. So we each got 2 songs. We got 2 songs each to pick and then talk about why we and it was great. I had the greatest time. And
What'd you choose?
I chose
I'm curious.
Bare Necessities.
That's a good one.
Oh no, I'm sorry. No, I did not. I was going to take Bare Necessities from the Jungle Book, but I did not. I took I Want to Be Like You from King Louie.
King Louie.
Because I loved that song. I had before the videos, you could actually have the album, the record.
Right.
And it was an album, and I had the 40, not the 45. I had the 33 and a third. I had the album of the Jungle Book, and it was I don't think it was Sebastian Cabot. It might have been, who was the voice of Bagheera, the Black Panther, who was narrated the whole story, and it included clips from the movie and the songs.
Yeah.
And so I loved that one from King Louie, who was done by Louis Prima. Louis Prima was the voice, and he was the scat big band leader, and did that song. Very good. I don't know if you know this. You probably do, John.
Well, I'm more of a parks guy, but go ahead.
There are 4 vultures who come up on Mowgli, and they all have these hairstyles. They were supposed to be voiced by the Beatles. Disney had talked to Ringo, Paul, John, and George about voicing the 4 vultures, and eventually they didn't.
That would have been funny.
I think that about the time. Well, look at them. They still look like, and they had people do the voiceover artists do British accents, but they weren't doing Liverpoolian accents. But they were singing "We're your friends till the bitter and the bitter." And anyway, so I picked "I Want to Be Like You."
Yeah.
The other one I picked, I don't know if you would know this, but I love musicals.
Okay.
And I loved Tangled. I thought Tangled was way better than Frozen ever was. Mandy Moore was the voice of Rapunzel, and Zachary Levi was the voice of Flynn Rider. And there's a scene, if you don't know the story, but there's a scene where they're releasing these lanterns into the sky, and she has been watching these ever since she was a little girl, and Flynn Rider takes her, and they're in a boat, and they have these, and the song that plays there, "At Last I've Seen the Light," I love that song. Masterfully written. No, I'm giving myself goosebumps. I love that song because it's a great rom-com kind of song, and they both sing it, and it's wonderful. So I picked that one.
Okay.
Now, Daughter the Elder, I don't
Yeah.
remember the other one that she picked, but she did pick, because she said the lyric blew her mind when she was a little kid, because she was a Disney princess girl. She watched Little Mermaid that was, from the renaissance of
that
the
was
animation.
hand-drawn animation.
And hand-drawn animation. That was the Daughter of the Elder. She was a little girl when the Little Mermaid came out. So Beauty and the Beast, all that stuff. She was all up in that. But the lyric that blew her mind was from Pocahontas. And the song is Colors of the Wind, where you can't step into the same river twice, because it's constantly
Always changing.
She said she's a little girl, and that lyric just went and it always stuck with her. It always stuck with her.
That's good.
She picked that, and I can't for the life of me remember what the other song that she picked. But John, if you had to pick a song or two songs from a Disney, yeah, of course, I'm going to throw it at you, and I'm throwing it to you too. Put it in the comments section. If you had to pick a song, a Disney song, from a movie,
if we're going from a movie,
what would it be?
I would, and I'm sure, you know what, there's tons of songs I could pick, and actually even in the, especially in the modern era of things, but I'm thinking, let's see. Well, the first thing that came to mind was Peter Pan, You Can Fly.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. And that's vintage 50s Disney. You can fly, you can
wonderful
fly,
thought.
I love that. I love it. That's a great pick. Great choice.
Love that. And probably beyond that, I had to go with
yeah, right. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Right. I love that, but I love the Cinderella waltz that plays at in front of the castle, and
Once Upon a Dream.
Cinderella. It's it's a classical music piece.
Oh, okay.
I guess,
so
but that's actually a class. Yeah, I mean, they put words to it.
Put words to it. I do like from Cinderella, because again, this is the Daughter of the Elder.
Yeah.
And it was when the two stepsisters are.
I thought you were going to do the mice singing.
No, they're doing the singing lesson.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sing, sweet nightingale.
Yeah.
I laugh out loud when I would watch that.
Oh, yeah. Look, see, I mean, you could go to like the Phil Collins, You'll Be in My Heart from Tarzan, or Life is a Highway by Rascal Flatts from Cars. I mean, there's some good, which of course was then the redone version of who did the original Life is a Highway? John Cochran?
Tom Cochran.
Tom Cochran.
He was in Red Rider. Lunatic
Red Rider.
Fringe.
Right. Lunatic Fringe. Yeah.
We all know you're out there. All right.
Yeah.
So
we could do this all day, by the way.
But we could. So I don't think I can pick just one. Nabua just put up a comment and said, I don't think I can pick. Well, then put 17 down. I don't care. I'd love to get your opinion on
right.
It's all good. You're the one typing. And but I would love to get your opinion on that, because the Disney and I will say it's Randy Newman was the songwriter on a bunch of the Pixar.
You got a friend in me.
Okay, that's a good one. And I will fly no more at the end. Yep. But the one that just rips your heart out
is
and she sang it at the Oscars because it was nominated, and I can't believe and there wasn't a dry eye in the house. When Somebody Loves You from Toy Story 2.
Yeah.
With Jesse. Oh, I can't even talk about it. It's such a great song. Great song. Bare Necessities and Under the Sea.
That's
there
a good one too. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, just so many good tunes.
Well, we had the cassette for little Jordan, little girl Jordan. We had the cassette that had from songs from the Little Mermaid, but also other songs that were, inspired. So beachy kind of Caribbean songs. So it was, Three Little Birds was on there, sung by Sebastian. Is singing Don't Worry, Be Happy. All right, don't worry. Every little thing's gonna be all right. It was, Bob Marley tune.
Right.
Anyway, so
good.
Throw your Disney songs in there. And I'd love to hear it. And it can be from Pixar too. There wasn't really one from the although I could watch it every day, is The Incredibles. I could I love that music and that vibe from the whole thing. And the voice, math is math. Well, that's from Incredibles too. But anyway, I digress. Shocker. All right, are we ready? Are you ready, John? Are you ready? Are we ready?
Okay.
Right, here we go.
Yes.
It's for Pride Not Prize, because it's time to get the gray matter working, fire off the synapses, engage frontal lobe, form new neural networks, utilize the cerebrum. As Pooh says, it's time to think. Ding is the dun. Question of the day. By the way, that's another Disney. The Pooh, Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, I mean,
all of those songs. Well, that was the song I was singing to Greatest Wife Ever as she was in labor, and we're trying to get to the hospital, and we were 2:00 in the morning.
You were?
Not Winnie the Pooh. I was singing I'm Just a Little Black Rain Cloud. I'm just a little black rain cloud. Running these red lights to get to Frederick Memorial Hospital. Yeah, I'm only a little black rain cloud, which I think
off button. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. Hold on.
There we go. Much better. Okay.
You need to talk when I put the cough button on.
Well, I could.
Dead air, dude. I can't have dead air.
If you go like this, I will fill.
Well, I did.
We should have a single or a signal. A single. We should have a single too.
He sent us a no. We don't need to send. Nobody wants to listen to this. All right. So here it is. The question of the day. Dun dun dun. For Pride Not Prize. Are you ready? Are you ready? Here we go.
I'm ready.
What is the most populous metropolitan area in the world? The most populous metropolitan area in the world. All right. Put your answers in the comment section. And
good luck.
I know, it's exciting. So we have the Disney Channel. We have Disney Plus, right?
Right.
And I think it was right after we got it. It was the middle of the night, and I'm just like bored. I'm wide awake. Saturday night, whatever. Grace, whatever. She's asleep. We're upstairs, giant television. And so I go over to Disney Plus, and I'm like, it's been a while since I've seen The Jungle Book. Pop that on about 1:00 in the morning.
Start watching it.
Yes, of course. That and all the Dexter Riley, the Computer Ward Tennessee. Kurt Russell was great in those. I love those.
Right.
The Computer Ward Tennessee was Dexter Riley at Medfield College. And now you see him, now you don't, where he came up with an invisibility.
I like the Nutty Professors and the Apple Dumpling Gang.
Well, Nutty Professor, that was Jerry Lewis. That was prior. That wasn't a Disney.
Oh no, I was thinking the other one.
The Absent-Minded Professor.
That's it. Yes.
Fred McMurray.
Right.
And Flubber.
And Flubber. And the Shaggy dog.
The Shaggy DA. Yeah, the Shaggy Dog and the Shaggy DA.
Yeah.
And then Escape to Witch Mountain. Jodie Foster was in that. All of those. The Apple Dumpling Gang.
Yeah,
Don Knotts and
Tim Conway.
Fantastic
comedy duo.
Oh, and the Love Bug. Yeah, Herbie the Love Bug. And
Herbie.
Yeah,
Herbie.
All of those 60s and 70s Disney movies all had like the same soundtrack.
Yeah. And then
They were fun. I love those Disney movies, live action Disney movies. All right. So anyway, all right, here we go. Back to the question of the day. What is the most populous metropolitan area in the world?
In the world.
All right, let's pop up some of these answers that you have put in the comment section. Then we're going to pop them up on our screen. And Jim was the first one through who said Tokyo, Japan. That's correct. There you go.
I think
there it is.
John, Jim put his answer, and everybody else knew that Jim was correct at that point and didn't bother answering.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Did you know that, John?
He went, well, I mean, you were a little obvious.
How was I obvious? What did I do that
John
was obvious?
Tokyo Yaglensky today.
Well, that's you. That's not me, obvious.
I know, but it's obvious. Like it seemed the tie-in. I think people are understanding the fact that John's going.
I don't know. It could have been anywhere. Could have been Beijing.
Well,
nobody said Beijing or Shanghai.
I think
by the way, Shanghai is bigger than Beijing. I don't know if you know that. So throw that up. It could have been that. Could have been the New York metropolitan area. It's not the New York metropolitan or Los Angeles. But nope. Everyone.
It's a question that people know for some reason, and I knew it when you put it up there right away.
Did you?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I didn't know that.
I did not know
that. But it's 6 neighboring prefectures.
Yeah.
What I did know, I thought, and I could be wrong about this, and John, you'll have to investigate when you're there, is that Tokyo is so big, they have a baseball league that just plays within the Tokyo, the different Tokyo
areas. Suburbs, whatever they.
I could be wrong.
Whatever they.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'm learning as I go, and I'm planning on reading up during my 14-hour flight.
When I go to Tokyo, I do want to go to a baseball game, though.
Do you?
Yeah, of course. One of my favorite, and this is the discussion I want to have later on, is because now we're in the baseball season. June 1st will be the Frederick Keys. Where's my hat? There it is up there. Where are the Frederick Keys? Right there. Is the Frederick Keys our local baseball team?
Minor league.
Yep. Minor league. Frederick Keys, named after Francis Scott Keys from Frederick, Maryland, and
correct,
and is buried at Mount Olivet Cemetery. And I work at Key 103 Radio.
Notice the tie-in.
There you go.
And it's Key 103 Radio's right next to the what? FSK Mall.
Francis Scott Key Mall. That's right.
Right. So just saying.
It's a lot of that.
Sort of a thing.
It's a thing. We're famous for one thing. We're latching on to it. Which is fine. I mean, I'm all
good. It's good.
But what was I saying? I completely forgot where I was going with this. I don't know.
We're talking about Tokyo and
baseball.
That's right.
Baseball. The thing I want to do is talk about baseball movies, my favorite baseball movies. But we'll get into that later. That's too much to get into because John.
Yes.
I want to talk about your trip now because you're going away. So the podcast, we're going to be off next week and the week after.
Maybe. Yeah, I guess you're right. Well, let me see. Hold on. What
the week after we'll do it on like a Thursday or something.
Here, and then
the podcast will be off next week.
Next week, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
John's going to be in Tokyo on a business trip.
Yes.
And 9 days is it?
It is 9 days. So I leave tomorrow and I come back the following Saturday.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a long, and it's 13 and a half hours ahead. So, I mean, I leave here tomorrow, just in case y'all are curious how this works. Leave at 7 a.m. flight, go through Dallas, Fort Worth, have a 3-hour layover, and then fly direct to Tokyo from there. And I get there the next day at 3 p.m.
Okay.
Well, and then come
the international dateline.
Yeah, but this gets good. When you come back, I get to Dallas before I left. Yes.
They did say that I did read one of those little factoid things that the jet lag is worse traveling east. So that's when you're picking up time.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. Jet lag's going to be bad when you come back home. But when you go there, you should be fine.
Well, then I did it the wrong way because I got the good seats going there, and coming home, I got okay.
Oh, that's the one you. Those are the ones you want to sleep on, John.
Well, I figured I was coming home that if I had to, I could sleep all day when I got back.
Right,
That's
that's
that
true.
sort of thing.
That
And
ex right, right,
and
right.
addressing the podcast thing, so we may be able to time shift the week of the 10th so that we do it towards the end of the week.
Okay, okay,
So that will work for me. I will be
okay.
around for that.
So you're gonna be gone
Yes.
while,
9 days.
I'm going to be celebrating our, 34th wedding anniversary.
Hey,
June
nice. There we
3rd,
go.
1990, and, you can follow us on the, I might do a little Facebook Live thing
Okay.
on, June 3rd because 'cause that'll be next Monday,
Yeah.
and, we and so we did a big party for our 30th, but that was in 2020, so we had to move it back to
Yeah.
the 2021, I think.
Yeah.
Was it 2021 or 2022?
Might have been
2021.
22. Was
Yeah,
it 22?
2021. Yeah.
21? Okay.
No, but I got a big, and we got a band, I had funk disco 70s band play, and, I mean, I danced everything, and everybody dressed up because it was like a wedding reception. We said, it's formal. So people, or semi-formal, so coat and tie or whatever. You didn't have to wear tux. But we went and got their ball gowns, and God, it was just great. And you know,
Sounds like
it was
fun.
funny though because we got the food, right? So we were
Mhm.
holding it at this little wedding reception place. And we got the food, and it was steak tips or whatever. And the chef, Michelle, she had left this place. We had her come back specifically for our party because, and believe it or not, on the buffet, on the dinner was her mac and cheese, which was, to this day, we don't know what's in it. She won't tell us the cheese blend. There is something in it. She won't
All
tell us.
right.
And we've tried. Greatest wife ever has tried. We're buying, maybe there's Gouda in it. We're buying Gouda and Havarti and all of these different cheeses, trying to come up with a blend with, and
You
can't
need to take
can't
it
do it.
out for
Yeah.
chemical
I
inspection.
know. I'm
Like,
trying to reverse engineer it.
reverse engineer.
Trying to
Yeah.
find out what it was. But the mac and cheese, and then so we just had a blast with that. And that was nothing's really topped that since then.
Mhm.
35 will come up with something, but this will be 34 this year. And
It's like
for
the
our
pre-35 party.
we'll get down to
I
35.
mean, why not?
Well, we're doing something for our 60th birthday. She and I, Grace wife ever and I are the same age. We're both born in 64.
Mhm.
And so we want to do something for her party. And so, because somebody's asked, are you doing a party together? And we're like, no. Oh no. She said, no.
No combined party? Come
No,
on,
she gets
man.
her own party, and I get my own
Oh, look at
observation.
you.
What? I don't know if she'd want to do what I want to do. I want to do
It's my
Beatles
party,
theme.
and I'll do what I want
I
to.
want to do a Beatles theme because
Right.
these 1964 when the Beatles came
Yeah,
over,
that's neat. Yeah,
I don't
I
know
like
how I'm
that.
going to do it. I mean, the musician friends, it'd be a lot to embark. I mean, my own band, it would be hard. I'm
Mhm.
like, I want to do the entire first album, and but they're not easy songs. I know that's the Mop Top era. They're not
Right.
easy songs, especially if I'm playing bass. Playing the Paul McCartney bass is impossible on like what is it? Close your eyes and I'll kiss you tomorrow. And all my loving. That's an impossible bass line. It's like boom, boom, doo, 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 doo. I mean, it's just walking it all over the place. I'm like, what are you doing?
I think we found that in our band, didn't we? Sometimes the songs that you thought were going to be easy were surprisingly hard.
Yeah, surprisingly hard.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I could just sit there on the root note if I wanted to and just play C,
Right.
C, C,
Right.
C, but it does not do that.
Right.
Also, I don't know if I want to work my party. But anyway, that's not here.
He digressed.
I digress.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Yeah.
So when it comes for our anniversary, I think we're just going to chill and I don't know, dinner or something. I don't know. We'll figure out something.
Nice.
Because we did all of the things. First year was paper, and we gave each other a paper gift, and one year it was like the gift of the Magi because I got her. It was fifth was wood, And so I got her a bench glider that was made out of wood, right? Bench glider that was going to go on our porch. We were living in an apartment at the time. And I went to uh I went to the loading dock to pick it up at Lowe's or wherever it was, and they handed it to me, and I went, and my back went, nope. And I was like, oh, no, I got it over to the vehicle. And then that was it. I was done. Got home.
Been there, done that, by the way.
Somehow got it up to this, again, wrenched my back. Bad, really bad. Had to go to the doctor and get it. So what does she give me? Golf clubs, which had woods in them. Wood.
Even though they're not wood.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Well, no, there was.
They used to be. They used to be.
But it was the thought. But I couldn't touch them for like 2 months because my back was gone.
You have to be careful now, because we're old. Like the stuff that you don't think is gonna take your back out for a week takes your back out for a week.
Dude, I am unloading from camping, and there are 3 pieces of equipment that are like the camp kitchen. It's in a case and it's got handles on it, like it's mobile. It ain't mobile. It's not for me. So we actually bought a hand truck. So I'll take the hand truck out there, lay it on there, and I can wheel it into the basement of the house.
Yep.
Because after years of wrenching my back trying to pick that thing up and move it around. No, you're exactly right, John. You think you can anymore at this age, and I'm like, no.
Sometimes just mowing the yard strenuously. I mean, depending.
I know.
I did it yesterday, and like my, the back part right here,
the
shoulders is a little sore.
Oh no.
I think that's what it was. That, or it's just the mystery, because sometimes it's 3 days later that you did something 3 days ago and it doesn't show up. And
the phantom pain.
Just
phantom pain. Where did that come from? Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. I'm like, what happened here?
I think
why is that hurting?
My car 4 days ago. Oh, well, that must be showing up now.
I know. It's I know. But where was I going? Oh, I did want to sing my praises because I'm an okay gift giver. Grace Weaver is a great gift giver. And our friend Trish is the perfect gift giver because she's one of those year-round shoppers, and she'll see something and she goes, "Oh, I bet Ron would like that."
My wife does that.
And she buys it for Christmas, but she buys it in July.
Yeah.
And then she just puts it away. And then next thing you know, Christmas time, you open it up and like, oh, I wanted this back. She's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, you said it back in July, so I bought it back then.
So I bought it.
I'm
like, oh God, I don't plan. Greatest wife ever though. She's got it down, and she now keeps lists and stuff like that. She's great. But I have to sing my own praises for this because it was our anniversary.
Here we go.
I forget what year it was.
Yeah,
but it was steel. Okay, so I got
steel. Okay,
stainless steel measuring cups.
Okay,
just because that's what they were. I got her a Superman T-shirt that had the Superman logo on it.
Right, Man of Steel.
Thank you very much.
Got that.
I got her a Rush album, a CD, which she didn't have. Do you know which one it was?
Crap, just went out of my head.
Caress of Steel.
That's it.
Third album. Her favorite band, and it had steel in the title.
Did you get her a leaf blower too?
Why would I get a leaf blower?
Steel?
No.
STIHL?
Oh, no. But you know what I did do? I was
funny.
Excited about that.
Trying to bring the funny, Ron. And
you did. You brought it. You got it. I'm sorry. I just But then I also got her a Danielle Steele book called The Wedding. Come on, man. What more would you want? I don't think you read it.
That is good. By the way, Jim's writing stuff in Japanese, and I'm gonna have to look up the
Shita Kudasai, John.
John.
All right.
AOHM, but okay.
It's up. I knew you were gonna do that.
John's son.
John's son.
I gotta learn like the most essential, just nice phrases.
The Japanese?
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
Hey, there's Jennifer. She's hopping on. Better late than never. That's okay.
Yeah.
We're going to be
Yeah.
here for
It's all good. It's
for
all good.
a half minute.
Yeah.
So anyway, I had to sing my praises for but that was what?
Did a nice job.
That was like the what, 7th anniversary?
Yeah.
So since then,
How many years ago was that?
no, I did do we did I did a trying to do a surprise, trying to surprise the greatest wife ever is impossible. But I tried for a 10th anniversary to throw a surprise party.
Yeah.
And did I do anything for the 20th? I forget. But the 30th, we did the 30th was the big wedding reception that we couldn't afford because we were 25 when we got married and we didn't have a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
So I mean that's the way that goes. So we're going to be celebrating our anniversary while John is gone. That was the whole point of this conversation. So John,
yes.
So please join me in wishing John safe travel. He's traveling tomorrow. He's going all the way to Tokyo. He's never been.
Never been.
He's going to do all the things and go to Tokyo Disneyland.
Disneyland and Disney Sea. And then the other things, I'm looking maybe to see Mount Fuji. And then I'm thinking about taking a bullet train to some nearby city like Kyoto
just to be on a bullet train, just to do it.
I mean, kind of, yeah. And
Please.
to see old Japan as opposed to the newer Japan.
Right. Do it.
Yeah.
And then I'm sending you a list. I got to find where it is because I like watching the street food vendors and restaurants and so on in Japan. I got to find the exact address and I will send you the video and the address.
They actually have tours
to take pictures and eat the food and meet the cook. I want you to shake hands with the chef.
Okay.
It's not a big place. It's not a big place. It's a little place.
All right. Celeste, just to answer the question, you can follow along with @Intercot @INTERCOT. And we'll be posting at least from Disney Sea and Disneyland, but I'll probably throw some just travel pictures up there because people.
And then what I'll do is I'll find those and I'll share them on our site too.
You can do that too.
All right. So I'll go and grab those and share them here while John's gone. So no podcast next week. We're going to have the week off next week. So enjoy your week.
And then we'll time shift the week after that.
Barking in your ear. Yeah. And then stay tuned and I'll post all of this stuff and I might go Facebook Live and just to tell you update you on what's going on when John gets back. And then when we'll shift for the podcast and do all of that stuff.
Yes.
Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching us on X for the first time, thank you so much for hanging out with us there. Yeah. And also on our Facebook and our video portion on YouTube as well. If you haven't already, please hit the follow button and mash that subscribe button, whatever it is that you need to do, and pass along to your friends. And if you're listening to the audio version of this, you can also listen to the audio version of this wherever you get your podcasts on all major podcast networks. Just search Ron Ross Radio Show podcast. And I've got another podcast called Ronversations, which you can search for, which are interviews that I do with various artists who come through. So my Ace Frehley interview,
yes,
I had to edit that. Yes. I did. I talked to the man.
I know.
It was pretty stinking amazing. I have got to tell you, it was weird to hear Ace Frehley. If you don't know who he is, he was the original lead guitarist in Kiss. He was the spaceman, Space Ace.
Yeah.
For him to say my name was just if you can meet your heroes. It was amazing. It was amazing to just have a conversation with him, and it was just, and I didn't have to do any heavy lifting at all.
Right.
I mean, he's been doing it, like I said, he's been doing it for 50 years. So
I'm sure he
knew
great and talked to
giving me some inside information about this, told me a story about something which I knew it, but I didn't. It just wasn't the piece of information that I knew I was going to get. In a particular song, because I'm a drummer, and there was a song on his solo album, and Anton Fig from the CBS Orchestra and from David Letterman band, he was a drummer on that, and it was a song called "Rip It Out," and they put his first song on the first solo album, and it's great, and there's a drum solo section in the middle of it. He gave this guy a drum solo section on his solo album. And he says, well, we double tracked that because he was playing down the toms once and then he played up the toms. And I'm like, I knew it. I knew it. Because there was no way to get that sound
Right.
unless it was double tracked. And I'm like, because you can't reproduce that live unless you.
Well, now you can, but you
Well, now
couldn't
you
then.
can. You put some sort of digital. So he told me a little snippet, and I was really excited about. I'm like, So I was in heaven. So that's in Conversations. I'm going to be posting that a little bit later on. That podcast will be up and running. There's no video. Well, I do have video. I don't know if I'm going to post that. But anyway, be looking for that if you want to listen to that too, and all my interviews that I've had with various other artists. Okay. Enough of that. Am I out of radio mode? I think I am. Listen, John.
I got to go pack.
Yeah, God bless you. Love you, brother. And thank you for everything you've done for this podcast and safe travels. You're doing all the things, living the life. So have a great time. And thank you so much for hanging out with us on the podcast. Please take care of yourselves and each other. Please be safe. For John Yaglensky, I'm Ron Ross. Love you, mean it. Bicycle.